All right, let's get started with a seated cool down stretch. So first position is easy seated pose, otherwise known as crisscross applesauce. If it feels more comfortable in at least this pose to sit on a block or a cushion or a step bench, that's fine. What's most important while doing this seated pose is that your hip flexors can feel relaxed. And what that means for some people is just having a little bit of elevation so that our pelvic bowl can stay in neutral position. From here, starting in easy seated pose, we're gonna move into some lateral stretches. And we do that by taking our left hand down to the floor and our elbow and reaching up and over. Keeping the knees relaxed, push away from the floor with the left arm that's on the ground. And slightly, if you want to, just slightly rotate your heart upwards, feeling a stretch down the back of the body. Let's take one more breath in. Exhale, bring that arm up, come up to a neutral position, and then go right on over to the other side. So with the elbow on the floor, we push away, that way we're not sinking down into the shoulder. And then reaching, really reach towards the wall, or whatever is that way. So when you reach, you feel that lengthening of the back of the muscles, the latissimus dorsi, the spine is flexing, and let's go ahead. Reach on up, come on back up. Give your arms a little shake, and then we move into into a seated twist. We do that by taking the right arm to the left knee, sit up tall, draw the crown of the head upwards, and then reaching back with your left arm, drop yourself up, and then look over your shoulder. The body goes where the eyes go, so continue looking as far back as possible, taking deep breaths in. And as you exhale, imagine wringing out your insides. Breathe. Let's take one more inhale. And as we exhale, coming back to a neutral seated position and switching sides. Left arm comes to the right knee, sitting up tall, reach back behind you. Prop yourself up and twist. Now it may feel more comfortable in this twist to have removed the block at this point or the cushion, but if not, you can keep it. Look back just a little farther, twist just a little bit more. You can use your left hand as a little bit of a nudge, but we can't force flexibility. So let's take another breath in. Exhale, come on back to center, shake it out, and then we'll go into what's known in the yoga community as child's pose. So in child's pose, we're going to take our knees wide towards the edge of the mat, let the toes touch, and sit the hips towards your heels or towards your shoes. Extending the arms forward, we relax the head on the mat and let our ribs snuggle comfortably between our legs. So really folding into this pose. As you're here, imagine breathing into the back of the lungs, feeling the expansion of the back, and soften as you exhale. Now hitting that lateral left and right side again, let's take our hands off the mat towards the left side, shift the weight right and relax the head down. Breathe. And then coming back to the mat, let's walk the hands over to the left, shifting the weight to the other side, breathing into one side of the body as you find length, and then exhale to relax. And gently come back to the mat. Let's come up into all fours. Moving through cat and cow position. So before we start, keep in mind that if your wrists don't love this amount of pressure, you can either fold your mat over once or twice for extra support, or you can make a fist and press your knuckles down towards the mat like you're giving it a punch, and then the other arm And if you do this pose, make sure this flat part of your top knuckle is pressing onto the mat and you're pushing away from the floor. From here, we move through cat and cow. So always starting at the tailbone, we inhale and lift the tailbone up. Pull the shoulders back and look forward. And then with your exhale, tuck the tailbone. Work your way up the spine as you spread the shoulder blades and tuck the chin. So with those two poses, we're going to simply breathe from one to the other. This is a great stretch for the abdomen, for the core, for our hips, for our back, and for our neck. We'll do 2 more in both directions. Last one. Coming back. And then sitting back if it feels comfortable, make circles with your wrists, and then we're going to tuck our toes under, lift the knees off the mat into downward facing dog. Shake the head out and let it relax, pressing all 10 fingers into the mat. The head looks past the ankles, totally relaxed, and go ahead and just pedal each heel down one at a time, feeling that nice comfortable stretching of the calves. Nice and casual. And then drawing both heels down towards the floor while lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Breathe, find the length, feel that length down the back of the legs. We'll take one more breath in. And exhale, take the knees down to the mat. Bring out the wrists once more. And then coming up onto our knees, bring the right leg forward. Coming into our hip stretches, we're going to have one hand and then the other on the mat as we relax the hips down towards the floor. So on the mat, it goes hand, foot across the mat. From the front. So this is stretching our hips, inner thighs, keeping the shoulders back, the crown of the head forward. Breathe. From here, let's walk the hands back towards the body and keeping the foot all the way on the mat, straightening the front leg. In doing this, we'll feel a stretch down the foot actually, and maybe the tibialis anterior, otherwise known as the shin. But as we notice, if we try to go into that cow position, really we're just straightening our back, the more stretch we feel in the leg. So now we draw the toes up towards the head, shifting the weight back just a little more. Maybe we walk the hands up. Taking a few breaths in, feeling the stretch down the calf and Achilles heel. And then lunging forward. With both hands next to the foot, we twist and reach one arm up and come into a twist, pressing away from the floor with that bottom arm as we breathe. And then take the hands down. Go ahead and tuck the back toe under, lift the knee up, and pivot to face the other side of the mat. Already in position. Other leg forward. It's now foot, hand across the mat. You can take your foot and relax it as you breathe. Once again, if it's more comfortable, you can make a fist, but make sure we're not sinking down into our chest and actually pressing into the mat and spreading the shoulder blades apart. If it's possible, see if you can keep contact with your leg and your arm. So if the knee comes out to the side, let's see if we can draw it up and keep it touching your tricep. Perfect. From here, straighten the leg as we walk the hands towards the body, keeping the toes on the mat like we're pressing a gas pedal. The straighter the spine, the more intense the stretch, so you can draw your shoulders back a little bit more. And then bringing the hands a little closer so we can draw the toes up towards the head, taking the stretch into the calf and the Achilles heel. Breathe. And then walking the hands forward again, finding that twist. So we relax the hip down and then reach up with the opposite arm as we breathe. Press away from the floor, reach a little bit higher, and then take the hand down. Tuck the back toe under, lift the knee up, and if you like, you can return to downward facing dog or child's pose one more time. Pedal the heels down. And then walk halfway up onto the mat. Bring the legs around front. Grab underneath the thighs. Lower gently down to the mat. Feet hip distance apart and tucked in towards your bum. Arms down at the sides. We take a breath in. Exhale, and we peel our spine off the mat, one bridge at a time, one vertebrae at a time, as we come into our bridge pose. Keeping the shoulders relaxed, chin is tucked, looking past the belly, thinking about 3 points on the bottom of the feet, pressing evenly into the mat. The point under the big toe on the foot, the point under the pinky toe, and the heel. This allows us to engage the legs evenly, lift the hips just a little bit higher, and gently lower down. Figure 4 stretch. Taking the left leg, cross it over the right knee, and open that leg out. If this feels like enough stretch in the left glute and the left hip, stay here. Otherwise, take both hands, grab under the right leg, and grab this whole bundle of legs and draw it towards you. This might feel like enough of a stretch for you, and if so, that's great. Just hang out here and breathe. If you want to feel a little bit more, take that left elbow and gently press it against the thigh and open it out. And then maybe, if we rock gently, shift to the right just a bit, we'll also feel more sensation in this stretch. Try to relax as much as you can while you're stretching. So any muscles that aren't being used in the stretch itself, just go ahead and let them relax. Now let's take that leg down. Maybe windshield washer the feet back and forth or the legs back and forth. And then lastly, crossing the right leg over the left at the thigh and opening the knee out as far as it can comfortably go. Stay here if it feels good. Otherwise, both hands grab underneath the thigh as we pull our legs towards ourselves. And then maybe we press our elbow out against that thigh. And maybe we shift to the left a little bit. Continuing to breathe. Remembering that it can feel a little uncomfortable in a stretch, but never painful. Pain is the red flag for ourselves from our bodies to our brain that says, don't do that. So if you feel pain in any exercise or in any stretch, be sure to back off the intensity or skip it altogether, and then reach out to your trainer or coach to let them know what's going on, or your doctor. All right, let's take it down. Maybe shake out the legs, rock the heels, turn onto one side and come up. And that is our seated stretch. Stay strong, stay hydrated, and I'll see you around.